Welcome to your 1 hour restorative yoga. I'm Jan and I'm here live every single day for 1 hour. I practice yoga, be it a vinyasa practice, a restorative practice, or whatever kind of practice. Every day is different. It's very real. Life is real. Life is real. This practice is real. You're doing this like a class in person. It's all good. All right. This is live from start to finish. No edits, no cuts. It's just like being in a live class and it's real. A lot of times I think we start to think life is not real when we see all the everything perfect and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all that. Everything's so perfect, but life is not always perfect. And I gotta tell you, it's been heavy on my heart these last 48 hours. Several of you and other friends have just told me about some really, really horrific, terrible, sad things that have happened in their life recently. And, you know, nobody can escape it. I mean, it's just life, right? And you got to deal with it. And everybody's life is not Instagram perfect and wonderful. Life deals you some real gut punches. It's not all fun and games all the time. And, you know, it's not all smiles, although I try to keep it a lot of smiles. But it's not all fun and games. You get the gut punch once in a while. And so today's practice is going to help you if that's going on in your life. And you know, it's happening to everybody. Everything is just, you know, it sometimes falls apart. But I think a restorative yoga practice helps bring things back together. So just give it a go and see. I don't know what's going on in your life, but I think this practice really helps you, and just yoga in general really helps a lot. There's a word I'd like you to think about as you practice today, and the word is strength. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, okay, wait a minute, this is restorative. Why am I thinking about strength? I mean, don't necessarily think plank pose. And you think, maybe strength isn't the right word, but it is the right word for today, because I want you to find strength in your stillness, strength in your inner being. Find quiet, peaceful inner power and inner peace. You know, we all have to calm down and we all have to recharge and regenerate before we can charge ahead again. Sometimes you just got to slow down. So let's do that. Today I'm not going to use any props, but just a blanket, and I'm going to be near a wall to do legs up the wall, because that's just so refreshing. So just grab your blanket. If you want your blocks, if you've got blocks and you want to use them, go for it. But I just want you to know that anybody can do this practice. Use a blanket, that's it for today. And I've got water nearby too. So anyway, first pose we're gonna come into, first thing I'm gonna ask you to do is take a stress number. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10? Lock in that number, and we're gonna bring that number down. And you think, how can yoga do that? But it really, really does. Whatever kind of practice it is, it brings it down because you're working in the body, and the mind's a big part of the body, right? First place we're gonna go is pentacle pose. So come on down, maybe bring your blanket. You know, I don't know what you're wearing, pajamas, it's all good. Come into pentacle, and you can put the blanket, I'm just gonna put it on my belly because the weight feels good. Spread your legs wide, and come on down. All the way down to reclined. Arms go up overhead, and you know, to describe this pose, I say you come into a capital letter X shape. All right, so take your arms up overhead, and what we're gonna do here, come into the capital letter X shape physically, but you're just gonna quiet your mind. You're overstimulated, thinking too much, worrying too much mind. Just for a moment, acknowledge that. I mean, think of all the news we watch, and there's too much information, too much email, too much text, too much stimulation all the time. We're going to try to stop that. Just stop. So with your eyes closed, you know, arms comfortable wherever they are. If it doesn't feel good to have them so high, bring them a little bit lower. Just rest here and just really kind of give in to the earth, the gravity. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And some big sighing, letting it go, breaths out of your mouth. Let it go. All right, acknowledge that tension in you by squeezing your hands into fists and curling your toes down toward the sole of your foot. And feel where that tension goes. It goes up through your forearms, through your shoulders, even into your neck, and up the legs, into your hips. Just tight, tight, tight. Kind of that same feeling you get when you do a plank pose, right? Tight, everything's tight. Hold on. Now the best part, release. Let it go. Even soften your glutes. They were tight too. Do a couple more of those. Tight squeezes. And then big releases. As you release, you exhale deeply. sighing it out your mouth and feeling, your shoulders, everything just more surrender to gravity. Tighten up. Big inhale, tighten up. Big exhale. Let it all go. Let it go. All right, so there's the body relaxing. Eyes closed, deep breaths in and out. A few more sighs out your mouth. And when you're ready, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose if that's peaceful for you. But try to get your breaths nice and deep. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Try to soften that area between your eyebrows a little bit. Now maybe the body is kind of chill, kind of relaxed. Now let's go a little deeper. Time to get into the head. Try to stop the thoughts that happen about things off your mat. Don't worry about what you did yesterday. Don't be thinking about what you got to do next. What are we going to do next? Let those worries go. Really, it's really hard. Let the worries go and come into your present moment on your mat. What does that mean? Don't worry. All you've got is here and now. Breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply. And just focus on your breath. Listen to the sound of your breath in the back of your throat. Just breathe. Nothing else matters right now. You are here. You are safe. You are at peace. Those thoughts are going to try to run away and pull you away from the present moment. Don't let them. Acknowledge them. Tell them you'll come back to them later. But just come back to your breath and the right here, right now. Keeping your eyes closed, let's love on the shoulders a little bit. Maybe you can bring your arms up a little higher. Maybe the hands can touch as you take a big inhale. And as you exhale, let the arms float down by your side, kind of like you're creating snow angels. So go ahead, arms sweep up. Arms sweep down to whatever feels right. If something hurts or it just doesn't seem right, don't do it. You're not here to hurt. You're here to just enjoy and find peace. Inhale, arms go up, maybe a little. And then you go back down. Maybe arms sweep up to as high as feels right for you. Take it slow, no hurry. And then let them drift on down beside your thighs. And then when they're down there, just think of the shoulders coming away from the ears. Do a few more arm sweeps if you like them. Fill up and then empty out. Kind of get it to where it almost feels automatic. You don't even have to think about your arms moving. They're just kind of in sync with your breath. If you like that, keep doing it and enjoy the rhythm of your breath and your shoulders. If you're ready, when you're ready, if you want to, bring your arms down by your sides and let your shoulders be away from your ears. And let's just turn our necks from right to left, enjoying that little skull massage at the back of your head, and just feeling the goodness in your neck. Maybe with each turn, you'd like to work it a little deeper. And maybe you might like to hold it on one side for a breath or two, keeping your shoulders away from your ears and they're still down on your mat. Just let the neck feel good. Take your time to enjoy how this feels in your neck. We hold so much tension in our neck and shoulders and in our hips too. We'll address that in a bit. But just let it feel good in your neck as you drop into a place of just peacefully basking in your present moment. Head back to the midline whenever you're ready. And just rest here. A time of conscious relaxation, this is. You don't stop very much in the course of your day to just breathe, appreciate the breath, and find peace in your body. Do it now. Deepen your breaths. Stop those thoughts from spinning up. Acknowledge them and send them on their way. Think of them as little thought bubbles over your head like in a cartoon and just push them away. You come back to the feel of the mat beneath your body, the strong earth supporting you, the temperature of your room, and the depth of your breath. Stay here longer if you like. Give yourself permission to stay here longer. It's a good place to be. If it's time for you to move on with your practice, I'm going to go into a toes pose. So assess right now. Do you want to stay in your pentacle? Maybe turn your neck some more, or do you want to go into a toes pose? All right, so I'm going to bring my legs back to the midline of my body. I'm going to slowly push on up. And for toes pose today, you can use your block if you want to, but I'm going to just use this blanket, or you could use nothing. So you're going to come to standing on your knees, draw your toes towards your shins, and have a seat on your heels. I'm going to put the blanket back here, fold it over a couple times, or whatever feels right, and then have a seat on the blanket. So get nestled in, snuggle in. We're going to put our hands on our thighs, shoulders away from the ears, and let the toes, the foundation, your foundation, get a nice stretch here. Breathe in, breathe out. Perhaps bring your hands to prayer center. Just make everything complete here. Press your thumbs into your chest and be in prayer, be in meditation. Be at peace and breathe. And like any pose, if it is painful, come out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage, maybe hinge forward a little bit. You know what's right for you. And if it's uncomfortable, which this is, if it's uncomfortable, lean into your inner strength and breathe through it. That's what we have to do sometimes, isn't it? Focus on the inner strength, stay in prayer, breathe deeply, and rest. You can work on the neck a little bit here too. It's kind of a pleasant distraction. Maybe turn your head from left to right. And you could put your hands down on your thighs if you prefer. Eyes can be closed or open. And then a few times, once you bring your head back to the midline, maybe tuck your chin to your chest. Then lift your chin up to the sky. Ooh, you really feel that in the front of the neck. So just basically move your head, your neck. I'm going to go back to turning mine left to right. And I'm going to hold it a little bit, maybe for a cycle of breath on one side. And take it to the other. Head back to the midline. I'm going to tuck my chin, then send it up to the sky. And bring my head back to the midline. I'm going to finish with my hands in prayer. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, shoulders soft. I think the neck turns were a pleasant distraction to the toes pose. Let's come out of it. So bring your hands down to your mat. Remove the blanket, but don't let it go far. Lift your toes up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle the ankles. And then tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. That feels really good. All right, you did it. Toes pose is a big pose. Let's go on to a caterpillar pose. All right, so this is nice for your low back. Have a seat on your bottom. Send your legs long on your mat. And then bring your blanket onto your thighs. You may have a bolster and you might want to use that, but today I just wanted to focus on just the blanket, kind of that Linus moment, right? Where you just enjoy the blanket and find peace. And you can hinge forward here. Breathe in, breathe out, let things go. All right, so I'm going to set a little timer here. I'm not going to tell you how long. Just going to rest here. Don't worry about it. Just let your eyes close and let your chest work toward your thighs. Maybe you fold the blanket over a little more. Maybe that feels more comfortable for you to rest your head on. Or maybe you're just going to reach for your calves, your ankles, and just fold forward, not worrying for 1 second about how deep your fold is. Might feel good to put a little bend in your knees. Just let things go. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about anything. Focus on your breath. Your low back is really enjoying this pose. Once the tension goes, and that takes, 3 to 5 minutes, once you fully release, your back's going to feel really nice. As long as it doesn't hurt, just stay with it. Shoulders away from the ears. Just imagine that. And just let your low back receive the goodness of this pose. Deepen your breaths. Make that exhale a little bit longer as you imagine your belly button going back to touch your spine. Get your mind out of your body. Stop thinking about, this feels tight, that feels tight. I can't do this. Just let go. Get your mind out of the way of your body. Your spine is long and it's flexible and it's mobile. Your breath is deep and full of peace. Inhales, lengthen your spine. Exhales, surrender to gravity. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out with a little further surrender here. And then slowly, really slowly, open your eyes first and see how close you've come to that blanket. So you were there for about 5 minutes. So My question to you is, do you want to stay there longer? Is that feeling super great on your low back? Or do you want to move into a wide-legged forward fold? That's what I'm going to do. So just, if you're coming out of it, just sit up straight and just kind of marvel at yourself, how good it feels. Okay, so now we're going to spread our legs wide. If you got the blocks, you can bring those in between your legs if you like. I'm just going to use the blanket. Put your hands on the blanket, put your forearms on the blanket, maybe scoot the blanket forward. Just get comfortable here. And a bend in your knees feels great. And you be at peace here. Close your eyes and rest. Maybe you want to scoot the blanket a little more forward, or not. Remember, just get out of your head. Get out of your head and let your body be. Back to the breath. Think of your breath as like the wave of an ocean, the waves on the beach. They come in, they go out with consistency and peace. Take a deep breath in and your deep breath out. And how is that feeling for you? Maybe stay here in your wide-legged forward fold. It's terrific. Feels great. Just feel the lengthening and the strengthening you're gaining in those inner thighs. If you want to come out of it, let's take a brief pentacle. And because it's a brief pentacle, really enjoy the getting down onto the ground. So remove your blanket, come on up, and come into pentacle pose. So lie down, arms go high overhead. Enjoy the journey, that's the best part. Spread your legs, but take that big capital letter X shape. And we do this pose in yoga because it realigns and resets us back to the midline to get us back in the game for the next pose. Deep breaths. You're an expert at this pose now. Enjoy it. Let the gravity work with you. Enjoy the feeling of this pose. I'm not going to stay here much longer, but if you'd like to stay here longer, go for it. It's your yoga. All right, the next pose I'm going to go into, I mentioned it yesterday, is a sleeping swan. It's basically the same pose as our half pigeon pose. But I'm going to give you an alternative first, and then I'm going to go into sleeping swan. If you don't like getting down on your knees, and sleeping swan, you know, is just not what you want today, do this one instead. This is a reclined pigeon. So bring your legs back together, arms down by your sides, bend your knees and put the soles of your feet on your mat. Arms down by your sides. Lift one leg up. I'm going to lift the right leg, and I'm going to bend it to the shape of a letter 4, or the shape of the number 4. That's it. I told you it's live. Into the number 4. Outside of the right ankle onto the left thigh. Maybe work your left heel up a little closer and just let this leg hang out. Maybe push into the inner thigh, working the outside of the right knee more toward the bottom of your mat. And do what you like with your arms. Maybe you rest them on your belly. Maybe they're down by your side. Maybe you cactus your arms like a goalpost. Elbows down, forearms down, palms up. Maybe that's where you rest. You do what you like here and work on one side, and then we'll switch it to the other side. But I'm going to come into that sleeping swan pose that I mentioned. All right, to do that, you're going to come on up. Come to like a neutral tabletop. You can use your blanket or not, it's up to you. I'm going to bring the right knee behind the right wrist, sending the left leg long and straight. Now you could put the blanket under your left knee if the left knee doesn't feel so good here, or work your right shin a little more parallel to the top of the mat and adjust your hips. I mentioned earlier that we hold tension in our shoulders and in our hips. Well, this is going to take care of that in the hips. Now you can slip the blanket underneath your right glutes to keep those hips equidistant to the mat. I'm going to slip on down, and I'll tell you on this one, I am going to set a 3-minute timer. So you rest here. Bring your head down toward the mat. Maybe widen your elbows. Let your hands rest on each other and rest your head on your hands. Okay. This pose is the one where you feel like, I want to scream when I first get into it. It's like, oh, too much. But trust me, get through that. As long as it doesn't hurt and create pain in your body, let's get through that. Let's break through that barrier, and you will reap great benefits from this pose. Soften in your shoulders. You don't even realize you're holding them tight, but soften in those shoulders. Then imagine each exhale of breath is going to your right hip, and just lots of breath and space is just swirling around the right hip, giving it space to move and finding comfort here. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Deepen your breath. Maybe draw your belly button more to your spine when you exhale, thinking of both hips almost coming down to the ground. As you soften in the glutes and let the hips surrender to the earth. You're going to reach a point where this feels like I've passed the barrier, I've passed the threshold. It's okay now. It's okay. Sometimes things are uncomfortable, but you get past that threshold and then it becomes okay. All right, we've been here over 3 minutes now. If you want to stay longer, go ahead. I'm going to press on up. I'm going to draw my left toes toward my shin, and I'm going to move that right leg back. Whew, I'm going to lift it up and just kind of circle it a little bit and get the blood circulating there. Then we get another turn to excel. If you're on your back doing that reclined pigeon, switch it up. Do the same thing on the other side. Not rocket science, right? All right, now I'm going to bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Right leg, I'm going to scoot it down nice and long, top of the right foot on the mat. Right or left foot works a little more parallel to the top of the mat. And the blanket, I'm going to put under my left glutes. And we usually put a block or a blanket or something under the bent leg side because the tendency is to collapse and just, hang out in that hip. Let's keep it lifted so our hips are equidistant to the mat. Same thing. Come on down if you want to. Maybe you stay up for a little bit and then work yourself down. No yoga police. You do this your way to what feels right for you. And then let's rest here. Timer's going, 3 minutes. I'll let you know when the time is up. Soften the shoulders, lengthen the back right leg, and surrender the hips, the pelvis to the mat. You got this. And deepen your breath, especially those exhales. Take a deep breath in. And your big releasing breath out. If you want to stay longer, that is your call. Go for it. I'm going to press on out of this. Come on up. Send the left leg back to meet the right. Shake it out. And then let's make our way to the wall for a legs up the wall pose. All right, so the wall is going to give you the support. We all need support, right? So some days you are the support, some days you need support. So if today's a good day for you, encourage those who need encouragement. All right, so I'm going to either sit on the blanket or not. You can use the blanket to put on your chest. Come on down, one hip to the wall, legs go up, hence the name, legs up the wall. Your bottom's a little away from the wall, so you're not at a perfect 90-degree angle. You're a little bit away. Legs are up the wall. Release here. You can put the blanket on your body. You could cover your eyes with an eye shade if you have it, or maybe cover your eyes with the blanket. Arms can be down by your sides, palms up. Maybe you feel you need a little support today, so bring your palms down. Feel the strength of the earth supporting you. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly if you like that. This is mostly about the legs. Arms can be cactused out if you like. Or you could even bring those elbows up closer to the ears and reach your hands for opposite elbow creases. And rest here, whatever feels good in your neck and shoulders, whatever feels right for you. And then you don't have to stay there. Maybe stay for a while and then change it up. It's up to you. So you can stay here a little longer than 5 minutes. We're going to see where this takes us. But just come back to your breath. Nothing else matters but the present moment. Don't worry, don't fret. Worry is useless. Just enjoy the moment and your breath. One little modification I'll tell you. If you're liking legs up your wall, but it's a little tough on the back, just bend your knees a little bit. You could put the soles of your feet on the wall, and that'll alleviate some tension in your low back. You gotta do what makes you feel right in this moment. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. This is your legs up the wall pose. Stay here longer to conclude our practice if you would like. I'm going to make my way to the mat and come into final Shavasana pose. So by all means, maybe you're still in pentacle pose, wherever you are. It's all good. It really is, as long as it feels good and feels right for you. All right, so I'm going to make my way back to the mat. I've got to move Piper. Hey, Piper, move. Come back to the mat. Very simple, very peaceful, no prop, just your blanket. Final Shavasana. Cover up whatever you want to cover up. Maybe you keep the blanket folded and it feels nice and thick and heavy on your body like a weighted blanket. That feels great. And come to recline. All right. Maybe you cover up your eyes or use your eye shade. It's all good. All right, let's rest here. Arms float down by your sides, palms face up. Or today, if you want some extra support, put your palms face down. Soften the shoulders. Soften the area between the eyebrows. Just breathe. It's really all you got. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your heart be full of appreciation and gratitude for this moment. Deepen your breath. And just imagine your breath cultivating an inner peace, an inner glow, an inner restoration. It all starts from within, right? Breathe in the goodness and breathe out that which doesn't serve you well. Now, if your remote is nearby, you might want to hit the pause so you can rest longer in whatever pose is speaking to you. If it's time for you to conclude your practice today, just restart the video. Take a deep breath in that refreshes your soul. And a deep sighing breath out. Let it go through your mouth. Make a noise. Let it go. Sigh it out. You're in control. You have the power inside. You are strong. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Wrists and ankles find movement too. Squeeze the fists, squeeze the toes, tense it up, and then let it go. You know how to do that now. Lift your arms up overhead, take a big good morning stretch, reach it out, shoulders, no tension there. You did lots of snow angels and you worked on the shoulders and the neck. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, and roll into a fetal position to start all over again. In your life off of your mat. Bend your low elbow, let that bicep be a pillow for your head. Hips are stacked, top shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. So much control and power in your breath. Acknowledge it and use it to your benefit. As you're ready, slowly press on up to a comfortable seated position. Don't you love using the blanket? And that's all you really need, right? Bring your hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel refreshed, revived, renewed. Yes, you can go forth and do good things. Gently blink your eyes open. You did it. Congratulations. 1 hour's worth of yoga. Now I want to ask you what your stress number was in the beginning and come back to it. What is it now? I bet you feel a whole lot better. It just works. The yoga works, and it works not only the body, but it works the mind too, for sure. All right, so hello to Tammy, Liz, Stan, Tyrone, Marietta, Tina, Lynn, Roger, Kelly, Rena, Cannell, Nancy, Blake, Yvette. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you very much. All right, one last yoga pose. From me to you, a big hug. All right, come on, you know how to do this one. We tee out our arms and just give a big hug, big squeeze, soften the shoulders. Do it again on the other side with the other arm on top. We need more hugs. So make a difference today. Encourage someone, be the light in their life, and spread love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good girl. Bye. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga is doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.